Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about when will you see the narcissist's true colors? When do you think the narcissist is actually going to show you who they really are? This wicked, evil person. Well, I'm going to give you the times that a narcissist will show their true colors. Number one, okay? You'll see a narcissist's true colors when they have another supply. A narcissist will change up when they have another supply and they're no longer into you and now they're into that other supply. And how will you see that? Because the narcissist is going to run cold on you. You're not going to understand what happened because the narcissist starts out by love bombing you, giving you a lot of attention, filling your phone, flooding your phone with texts, calling you, keeping you on the phone for hours. And then after the love bombing starts to dwindle, then what happens is the narcissist changes, and the narcissist may not be calling or texting you as much. They may be, not as affectionate. They may not want to see you as much. They may make excuses why they can't see you. So a narcissist, you're going to see that they're not really who you thought they were when they're busy with another supply. When they have another supply that they're interested in, their energy is going to be with that other supply. They're going to be running hot with them and running cold with you. And that's a big red flag that's showing you who the narcissist is, okay? That's part of seeing through them and seeing their, true colors. Another way you're going to know the narcissist's true colors is obviously when they don't need you, okay? When a narcissist doesn't need you, they're going to give you no attention, no time. They're going to dismiss you. They don't care about you. And again, they're going to run cold. They're going to run cold when they don't need you because narcissists only surround themselves around people that are beneficial to them. That's why they're always in relationships that are transactional, people that'll do something for them, okay? Next time when you will see a narcissist's true colors is when you piss them off. And a narcissist can go undetected for a while until they're triggered, until they're pissed off. And then you're going to see they might start raging out at you, okay, because you said something that they don't like or you did something that they didn't like. They'll start raging out of the blue. Or if you're dealing with a covert narcissist, they'll run into a silent treatment and they'll cut off all communication to you. So when you piss off the narcissist, that's when you're going to see their true colors because they're not going to be able to just sit there and resolve something with you. Instead, they're going to get angry and they're going to be vicious with it, okay? They're going to totally, be cruel and not either rage by communicating with you, by, verbally abusing you and raging out on you, or by refusing to communicate at all and go into a silent treatment, all right? Now, another time you could see a narcissist's true colors is by how they treat their children, all right? Because a lot of times how a narcissist treats their children will be how they treat you. That's why a lot of people, I tell them, when you're dating somebody, you got to see how do they treat their children, okay? Because a lot of narcissists, they pretend to be there for their kids, but they're really not there for their kids, okay? They abandon their children. A lot of narcissists abandon their children or they're not there for their children. So that's another sign that will show you the narcissist's true colors because children are supposed to be one of the closest things to a narcissist. And if they're not showing them love and affection, then guess what? They're not going to show you love and affection either. And that's when you could see their true colors. Now, the next sign, okay, when you will see a narcissist's true colors, and this is obvious, is when you go through a divorce. It's like the old saying that they say, the person you marry is never the same person that you divorce. Because in a divorce, it gets wicked. When you divorce a narcissist, it gets wicked, all right? They're going to pull every trick out of the bag to try to hurt you. They're going to, give you low blows. Any way they could try to hurt you, call the law on you, try to get you in trouble with the authorities, with your children, A divorce with a narcissist is very, very wicked, because a divorce is a narcissistic injury. And that's when you could see the real, true evil in that person. Because when you divorce a narcissist, it's not like, oh, they go their way and you go your way, and okay, it didn't work out, let's just move on. Okay? No, they want to torture you in every way. And how do I know this? Because I went through it. When I first was going for my divorce, you guys, I had no idea what I was in for. Okay? I thought, okay, it's not working out, let's just go our separate ways, let's get a divorce. Little did I know that the narcissist I was divorcing was going to come at me from every different angle and try to attack me in court. Okay? And I was shocked. I was really, really shocked. But it was because the narcissist was angry, bitter about the divorce, and wanted revenge for the divorce, okay? Because it was a narcissistic injury, didn't want to get a divorce, and was angry that I was leaving the marriage and, couldn't put up with the abuse anymore. So they're going to get wicked with it, and they're going to they're going to come out with outlandish accusations, make false claims. They're just going to do everything they can to try to hurt you. That's the best way to explain it. They'll do everything they can to try to hurt you. They're wicked with it. So when you get a divorce from a narcissist, you got to be ready for anything they come at you with. All right? Because nothing is, uncharted territory for a narcissist. They're going to pull every punch out of that bag to try to tear you down. So that's when you're really going to see that this person is a real wicked, evil, cruel person that wants to make you pay, that wants revenge for that narcissistic injury, okay? When will you also see a narcissist's true colors? When they owe you money, okay? When a narcissist owes you money, they don't want to pay you back that money. They feel entitled to that money. So if you were to go to a narcissist and say, hey, are you going to pay me back the money you owe me? They're going to get irate with it. They're going to be like, I can't even believe you're asking me for this money after all I've done for you. They're going to say. Meanwhile, they haven't done much for you. They've done very little for you. But they're going to throw that in your face and make you feel guilty for even asking them for the money. Okay? And so they're going to get angry. They're going to get wicked. So when you try to get your money back, a lot of times they're going to ghost you. And some people have to go to court in order to get their money back. So when the narcissist owes you money, then they may disappear on you after they get that money, or they may change after they get that money. They may be nice as pie to try to borrow money off you. And then once they get the money, they turn cold. They disappear. Okay? And that's how you'll see a narcissist's true colors as well. The other way, an obvious way that you'll see a narcissist's true colors is just when they don't get their way and you say no. Because narcissists don't like no. Some narcissists, like they say that's a way to tell whether you're dealing with a narcissist, just tell them no. But that's not always true, because in the beginning, during the love bombing stage, you could tell a narcissist no, and they could still keep up the act because they feel they could still manipulate you and try to make that no into a yes. So that's not necessarily a great indicator of whether you're dealing with a narcissist, because some of them will be like, oh, okay, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. And, they try to act like, oh, that's fine. And meanwhile, but they'll keep pressing and putting pressure on you for you to say yes to whatever they want. So, but when they see that you're adamant and you're definitely not giving in, all of a sudden the narcissist is going to get angry and they're probably not going to want to deal with you. When they see that you're a dead end, you're not giving them what they want, your boundaries are too strong, that what they'll typically do is move on to another supply that doesn't have strong boundaries, and get whatever supply they're looking from out of them. So, that's when you'll see their true colors as well, when you tell them no most of the time, all right? Now, next time you'll see the narcissist's true colors is obviously when you expose them. They're going to be wicked with it, okay? When you expose a narcissist, major narcissistic injury. And what they're going to do is they're going to smear you to everybody. They're going to play the victim, poor me, You're the big bad wolf. How dare you expose the narcissist? And they're going to go and tell everybody, that you're the bad guy. They're going to call you the narcissist. They're going to say you're toxic. Whatever they are, they're going to call you, okay? And they're going to try to fool people. They're going to run and smear you all over the place. And they're going to play the victim, okay? So that's what happens when you expose the narcissist. And that's when you see their true colors, okay? Because the narcissist doesn't take accountability. The narcissist is going to put that accountability and that shame, and what they're going to do is they're going to switch up, put the shame on you, and say that, you're the one who's wrong, you're the toxic person, and they're going to try to make you look bad, okay? And that's how they could, switch up and twist the truth, and that's when you're going to see the true colors of the narcissist, all right? The other thing that you need to keep in mind, all right, is you'll usually see the true colors of a narcissist. Now, this is usually, all right, not every situation is the same, is within 3 to 6 months, all right? The first 3 months typically is a love bombing stage where the narcissist is at their best. You'll never see that person from the first 3 months ever again. That person's not coming back because that person just never, ever existed. And usually between 3 and 6 months, the narcissist starts to show their true colors. Why? Because they can't keep it up. They can't keep the act up. Listen to me when I tell you, I've lived a lot of life. I've been around a lot of narcissists in my life. And typically between 3 and 6 months, that mask is going to start to fall, all right? Now, they can keep it on longer if it's a very big supply. Let's say it's a supply of money. And this could be a situation where you have, an international scammer, somebody who's scamming somebody, let's say on a dating app for money. They could put the act on for a long time because they know the return of that money is big. So they know they got to put the work in. So they might be good for at least, a year before they even ask somebody for a dime. Good scammers, good conning narcissists can go at least a year, all right? Now, people come back to me and they say to me, well, I've been with my narcissist for years and there were no red flags. And here's my response to that. That is impossible, okay? That is impossible because there is always red flags. Always red flags. It's just you may have missed them or you didn't recognize them as a red flag. A red flag could be the narcissist ghosting on you all the time and just telling you they're working all the time. That is a red flag because that narcissist could be out with another supply, or they could have somebody. They could have an old lady or old man, a main supply, and you could be the backup supply and you don't even realize it, and you think you're in a relationship with the narcissist. There's always red flags. The other red flag is they could be talking down to you. Their tone might be arrogant and talk to you with contempt and talk down to you. That is a red flag, you guys. They could blame shift on you. That is a red flag. These are all ways that narcissists show their true colors, okay? These are all toxic behaviors. Also, projection is another way a narcissist shows their true colors. They project onto you who they are. So they'll call you a liar when they're a liar. They'll call you a cheater when they're a cheater. They'll call you a gaslighter when they're the gaslighter. They'll call you the narcissist when they're the narcissist. This is when the narcissist is showing you their true colors, okay? Now, moving along. A narcissist, now keep in mind, they'll show their true colors generally when they know they got you. And that's why I say generally at 3 months. A narcissist pretty much has their victim, okay? Within the first 3 months, 3 to 6 months, they're love bombing you and they're building their web to have you, to have you in their pocket. And once they know they have you in their pocket, once they know they've got you, and when I say they got you, you're not going anywhere, that's when you're going to see the true colors of the narcissist, usually. It may start out subtly where, like I said, they may disappear on you. They might not be as affectionate. They may, the sex may dwindle. They're not looking to have sex as much with you. Their attention is going to dwindle, all right? And that's when you're going to start to say to yourself, is it me? Did I do something? Now you're going to start questioning yourself that you did something wrong. When the fact is you're with a narcissist who was never all in, who was just there to use you for some kind of supply that you had to offer. It was never the love that you thought it was, okay? Because love doesn't just die like that. But that is when they'll show their true colors, when they know they've got you, okay? When they don't get their way, that's when you'll see their true colors as well, all right? The other time you will see a narcissist's true colors is when you ask them for something, okay? And this is typical of covert narcissists. You may ask them for a favor, ask them for something, and they'll say, oh, yeah, no, I could help you with that. Definitely. You need help with that? Sure. And then they ghost you, okay? So when you ask a narcissist for something, you'll see their true colors, because a lot of times they'll disappear on you. Unless it's the love bombing stage, okay? The love bombing stage is a totally different thing, because they're at their best. They have to do things they don't want to do or will not normally do, but it's a way to, it's a way to fool you, so they know they have to do things that they normally wouldn't. But once they have you, okay, when you ask them for a favor or something, they're not going to want to do it. They don't want to be bothered with helping you out, all right? So when you ask the narcissist for something, you're going to see they're either going to yes you and not do it, or they're going to avoid you, ghost you, or they're going to get nasty with it and be like, oh, sorry, I can't help you. I'm busy with this, or, do it yourself, or something like that, okay? When you show someone else attention, and you give them attention, let's say you give children attention, you give your family attention, that's when you're going to also see the narcissist's true colors, because they don't like when you give other people attention. So they might get jealous, they'll get mad, they might say something like, oh, you're always spoiling the kids, or, you're ruining the kids, you're babying the kids or something. It's not that you're babying the kids. Children sometimes need attention, but the narcissist is angry because they're not getting the attention, okay? Now, the other time that you will see the true colors of the narcissist is when they're having a narcissistic collapse. And this, you don't want to be around for this, okay? You do not want to be around for a narcissistic collapse, because that's when the narcissist is going to, they're really going to come at you, because they're falling to pieces, and they're struggling for that control, all right? And that's when they're going to drop their mask. When they have a narcissistic collapse and they really feel like they're losing control, ooh, they're going to get wicked. They're going to get wicked because they're collapsing and they're losing control. So that's when you'll see a narcissist's true colors. They may start insulting you, now they no longer can put on the act, okay? They no longer can put on the act because they're having a collapse, they're losing control, and now anything could come out of their mouth and it could be attacking towards you, all right? So if they're having a narcissistic collapse and you cause that narcissistic collapse, maybe by criticizing them, trying to make them accountable, not giving them supply, that's when the narcissist is going to be wicked, okay? Wicked. So, you guys, these are all the ways that you will see the narcissist's true colors. But it's up to you to recognize it, okay? You've got to recognize when the narcissist switches up. Like I said, when they run cold on you, when they disappear on you, how they react to confrontation. How does that narcissist respond when they know they have you? When they owe you money, how do they respond? When you're going through a divorce, you'll see the true colors of that narcissist and how wicked that's when you really see how wicked they could be, because now that is like a narcissistic collapse, because a divorce is like a narcissistic collapse, because it's not only a narcissistic injury, it could be a narcissistic collapse. And I actually saw it with my ex, okay? And like I said, at that point, they are struggling for control. And when they're struggling for control, they're going to, they're going to throw every punch at you, because now they're fighting for their assets. They're fighting for their children. They're losing control of you. They're losing control of having their children, losing control of their assets, maybe having to, sell a home. They're losing their home. They're losing everything. A divorce, some divorces, it could be really, brutal, where they feel like they're losing everything. And that's like a narcissistic collapse. You'll see the narcissist collapsing. And that's when they're really going to, they could be cruel and wicked and come for you. Okay. So you got to be real careful. And that's when they show their true colors. And like I said, also when you piss them off. The other thing too, and I'm going to throw this in here because I just thought about that. You could also see a narcissist's true colors when they're drinking or under substance abuse, okay? Because now there is no filter. So when they're drinking, they might start running their mouth. And I did a podcast on this, about narcissists, how they are when they're drunk and everything. And that's when you could see a narcissist's true colors as well, is when they're drunk and they're drinking and they run their mouths, okay? Because now they have no filter. That's why the next day, when they're not drunk, they'll come to you and they'll say something like, oh, I didn't mean what I said. All right. I didn't mean what I said. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. It's just now they're trying to do damage control because now they're worried about whatever they told you while they were drunk. Okay. So now they're going to, the next day they're going to say, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was saying. They also use it as an excuse to cheat on you. So a lot of narcissists will cheat on you and use the excuse like, oh, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. That's still not an excuse to be able to go out and do something like that. So, these are all the times. And when you expose them, that's when they're going to show their true colors as well. When you show other people attention, that's when they're going to get angry and they're going to show their true colors as well. These are all the ways that the narcissist is going to show their true colors. And it's up to you to see it. And another one too, I'm going to throw in, you'll see a narcissist's true colors too with the sarcastic jabs they give. That's your covert narcissist. Constant sarcasm, all right? Constant backhanded compliments and sarcastic jabs. That's a narcissist that doesn't like you. And you got to pick up on that. And if you're dealing with a covert narcissist, you got to pick up on the passive aggressive behaviors. That's how you're going to see their true colors, is through those passive aggressive behaviors, because they're not communicating with you directly. Instead, they're communicating through passive aggression. Okay, so I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for coaching, check out the link in the bio. I'm going to be away for 2 weeks and then I'll be back. Also, you guys, check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed Podcast. I have over 7,000 videos. You should be able to find whatever you're looking for on narcissism on my channel at the Game Exposed Podcast. I talk a lot about covert narcissists, discard, all, the manipulation tricks that they do, the silent treatment. It's all on my YouTube at the Game Exposed Podcast. Instagram and Facebook is the Game EXP 123. And TikTok is the Game Exposed. And have a great day.